It's a day when you need to be careful not to take on all the responsibility yourself. If you have a job to do, share it with others in small increments. If you go in with a gun to your head, that's exactly what you'll end up doing. You need to spread the risk. If you're single, especially if you're a guy, you're in luck. If you're a woman in a relationship, you should be careful. You may get into a fight with your lover, but you'd better put up with it. You have good financial luck. Instead of keeping your money in one place, spread it around. For example, keep some in your wallet, some in your pockets, and so on. You want to reduce the risk of losing it all at once. It's a good idea to have advisors around you, even when things are going well, because you may need their advice. It's good to believe in yourself, but don't be overconfident. Always take time for quiet reflection. If you're in a couple, make sure you and your partner talk a lot. Lack of communication can lead to misunderstandings. If you're single, you'll have better luck with someone who's at least a few years older than you. Keep this in mind when meeting or going on a blind date. Your financial fortune is quite good. However, don't make moves based on your own subjective judgment. When making any money move, no matter how small, seek advice from those around you. It's your money, and you shouldn't feel like you can do whatever you want with it. If there's something you've been meaning to do right now, wait. Big changes are on the horizon, and it's best to reserve judgment until after you've gone through that period of change, because you may find that you need to change course. If you're a couple, there's bound to be some sort of rift between you. It's a good idea to be on the lookout for even minor arguments, and if you do end up cheating on each other, you'll be found out quickly. If you're single, the love luck isn't bad, and you might want to get an introduction. This is a day when your fortune can go very good or very bad. It's a day that could go either way, so be careful. If you have some money, it might be a good idea to put it in a bank account and forget about it for a while, because you'll need it when you really need it. It's one of those days when you've got a lot going on, but it just won't seem to slow down. There's a sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach, even though there's nothing obviously wrong. It's the kind of day where you're constantly running around in circles because you can't seem to make up your mind. Your love mood is normal. However, if you're in a couple, your dark mood can put your partner down. Try to be as cheerful as possible when you're in a relationship. If you're single, you're not much better either. You'll be so depressed that you'll have a hard time attracting the opposite sex. Your financial fortune isn't bad, and as long as you don't overspend, you'll be able to live comfortably. If you do need to spend money, try to use cash rather than cards. You don't want to be stuck with a credit card a month later. You say you're lonely, but you don't seem to know anyone around you, and you're withdrawing from people as if you're suffering from a temporary case of mass social withdrawal. It's time to do something for yourself to rejuvenate your mind and body. When it comes to love, there's a shift in the air. If you've never had a lover before, you may find one, but if you're currently in an uncomfortable relationship, the number of breakups is also in. You may find yourself in a situation where you're setting yourself up for a trap. It's important to be in sync with the other person. Your financial fortune isn't very good, especially if you end up buying things you don't need. Remember that loneliness isn't something that can be soothed by spending money, especially if you're carrying your card around with you. You may end up paying for things without thinking. Try to get home as soon as possible. You're smiling on the outside, but you're crying on the inside. Maybe you're smiling because you can't blush, but inside you're seething with anger at the other person. It's important to keep your temper in check. You shouldn't take out your anger straight away. It's not a good idea to go out on a blind date or meeting with your ego bruised. You set the ball rolling, and the other person gets to eat the fruit. Even if you're a couple, you're likely to have your fair share of arguments, so meeting too often can be poisonous. Fortune is not bad, but if you want to catch it, don't let others see it. Even if you're being criticized, it's better to roll your eyes and push through. It doesn't matter if you pay it back later when things are going well. Today is not the time to think about others, it's the time to think about yourself. We encourage you to follow your heart and do what feels right in your chest. If you feel like you need to be a little different, do it. The people around you today will appreciate the change. If you're single, try wearing something unconventional when you go out for a meeting or blind date. It's important to stand out from the crowd. Keeping a low profile won't get you very far. If you're in a couple, the love luck isn't bad either, as you'll be reaffirming your love for each other. If you have to spend money, try to spend it on yourself rather than others. Spending money on yourself today will be an investment, not a waste. It's okay to buy clothes, and it's not a bad idea to splurge on a new gym membership or swimming pool. It's a day of unexpected good fortune, and you're ready to accept it. There's no need to be modest, you're seen as fully deserving of the good fortune that comes your way today. If you've been preparing to break up with someone, do it today. They'll understand and will be able to let you go graciously. If you're single, this is a great time to meet your ideal match, so don't skip out on blind dates or meetings. It's never a bad idea to get a part-time job, and you might be paid more than you think. If you're a student, you might get some unexpected pocket money. Like a well that never runs dry, even if you spend some money, it's a good money day that will soon be restored. If you've been looking for a job or preparing for a career change, this is the day when things around you will change dynamically. It's time to make decisions, not drag your feet. This will be a time of change, especially in your love life, so if you're single, be prepared for a good relationship to come your way. If you're in a couple, this isn't a bad time to be in a relationship, but there is a risk of a love triangle, so be careful. Those in relationships are especially fortunate. You may receive a gift from your significant other that you weren't expecting, and it's a time of increasing fortune for both of you. It's a day when you realize that nothing is as precious as friendship. Your friend will be able to solve your problems or concerns. Don't hesitate to confide in your friend, they will be your guardian angel today. If you're in a couple, expect a little trouble. However, if you get through this bump in the road, your relationship will grow stronger. If you're single, there's a good love fortune in your favor. It's good to know that love isn't far away. Financially, things will start to unravel a bit. A big expense will arise, but with the help of those around you, you'll be able to work it out. This doesn't mean you should go on a spending spree, though, you'll need to be intentional. It's a day to cherish the connections between people. Try to look at people without preconceived notions. Even if they don't seem like a good fit right now, they could be a great addition to your life someday. If you're single, there's good love in the air. It's a shame that you might not realize it, but if you see someone you think is the one, don't let it go. If you're in a couple, you'll have a stable day of observing each other's love. Your financial fortunes are improving. It may be a little rough, but don't worry too much because it will get better again if you hang in there. Don't worry too much about it, or you'll end up with a lot of stress, which will interfere with other things. Being stubborn in an argument with your boss will only get you so far. You need to compromise, even if it's not to your liking. Insisting that you're right isn't going to get you anywhere, and if you're wrong, you're going to suffer for a long time. Whether you're single or in a couple, you're in good company. If you're single, you'll be able to choose who you want to be with, and if you're in a relationship, you'll have a moment of clarity when someone who's been elusive becomes yours. The money luck isn't bad, you'll get money back that you lent out, so if you've lent someone money, give them a call. However, it's not a good idea to lend someone money today, try to hold off a bit.